In the wake of that shooting, Dane County NAACP leaders want the Madison Police Department to get rid of its armored vehicles. We first brought you that story last night. The organization plans on meeting with Chief Mike Koval, but specifics have not been released. The NAACP says vehicles like the MRAP can heighten tensions in a crowd.
But one police chief points to several incidents that he says proves why these armored vehicles are actually needed. And Danica Lewis joins us now with this story.
Well, Michelle, those in law enforcement, they do understand why MRAPs or Bearcats may be under so much scrutiny. But when a small community like, say, Fond du Lac has its officers shot at almost annually with rifles, the police chief says there are some things that only vehicles like that can withstand. In 2011, after killing one Fond du Lac officer and injuring another, a man perched high in his home out of camera's sight became a sniper.
Some people may look at a town or a city the size of Fond du Lac and say that something like an armored vehicle is not needed. Well, here is a perfect case where an armored vehicle was needed and was used to successfully get people out of a very dangerous situation.
Brian Landers was part of a statewide team that evaluated police tactics at the time. He watched the tape over and over again and says it's proof officers need this kind of protection.
Some of the weaponry, some of the protective devices that were only used for SWAT applications 10 years ago are now being used and implemented in day-to-day uses of law enforcement. And it's not to become a more aggressive state of law enforcement, it's become a safer state of law enforcement. Why would society not want to make their police force safer?
What was called in as a fire last December became 26 rounds fired, 2 of them from a .50 caliber rifle, a military-grade weapon.
We would not have been able to safely extricate those innocent civilians from the building that the shooter was in without having 3 vehicles, 2 to maintain a perimeter on that building, the other to get that rescue team right up to the building.
Chief William Lamb says what some may call militaristic is something he owes to his officers.
We have an obligation to those officers to provide them with the training and the resources that they need to safely go in and take care of that and to make sure that they make it home safely to their families at the end of the day.
Now, Fond du Lac police got their vehicle called a Bearcat through a community foundation, rather. It was only 3 weeks after that they got the call and rolled onto that scene that you just saw that happened last winter.
All right, a different perspective tonight. Thank you, Danica.
Sure.